This is what the move looks like. You could take one card, you show nothing in the hand, and then you could actually change it just like that. So obviously you're placing one on top of the other, so you could just do a double to clean up. But this utilizes the move kind of that you guys would know it from the Cardini change. So right here. So all that's happening is you show it as just one card. And what's great is the way you're handling it, kind of to a magician may look like you're doing a double. So even if you fake it and make it look like you're doing a double, go into it and then go into the move, it may look like you're peeling out the card, and that's why I feel like it can be a magician fooler in a way. But for a layman, you're here, you're just gonna grab right here with your index and your thumb on each corner. Show your hand completely empty. And what happens from here is this is when the card comes like that, in the cover of this hand going to place this card. So you go to place, and at the same time, you're whipping this card out. And the main thing you guys gotta focus on is not getting that sound, because that's awful and that'll give it away. That's a dead giveaway. So it doesn't need that much pressure. All it is just my pinky coming in and just pulling this card down. And if you do it soft enough, you won't get any noise. And that's what you need to happen. So all that's happening is from here, hand comes over, card gets placed right here in this little gap in the pinky. So you're clipping it with the pinky as you're placing this card on top. So I'll show you guys in slow motion. Place on top, clipping it with the pinky. And now all it's gonna happen is you're just gonna drop with the index, drop with the thumb, just like that, and push out. And that's kind of important, to push with this pinky underneath to kind of feed it into the hand. So I'll show you guys without actually placing the card. So right here, gets pushed into the pinky. This pinky underneath is pushing that card out, because right now it's gonna be almost underneath the pack. So when it close to the pinky, the other pinky is pushing out, and that's when you re-grab with the thumb. And right here, and you're in this position right here, and you're able to just replace right on top and get that change. So with the card in the hand, this is what it looks like. Out, show that your hand's empty, cover, get it into that clip with the pinky, place down. Right now the pinky pushes up and out, and then you re-grab with the thumb and place on top. So basically I'll do it in fast motion from the front. So show nothing in the hand, place, and then change. And what I found is the angles. So what you're gonna wanna do is tilt a little bit up, and you're gonna show. And I found that if you turn to the side, so if you turn to your left to perform, and then as you're turning, you do a little bit of a rotation, I feel like that's kind of the nicest way to perform it. So you're here, you come here, and then you're turning here, and right here is where you place on top. And that's where you get that change. So you're kind of doing a little bit of rotation with the hips as you're performing this. And then that's basically it. And then, to cover, you could just do a double or whatever you want to clean up from that. And then I guess necessarily you could change it again.
Okay, so how does this color change look? Well, you have a card just like that, and then you change it to the jack. It's a very nice and basic change. Now, when you think about color changes, this is the sort of basic change that you want to do. It's a step up, I think, from the Erdnase color change, which I don't like, I don't even do well. But this is the basic one that everybody should know. Now, this is going to be broken up into 3 different sections. The first section is going to be the get ready, how we get ready into doing the color change. The second is the actual move of the color change and the fingering positioning, and the third is the cleanup. So there's a few ways to do each, and then you could combine them as you wish. Now, the first option to do this color change is to do it straight off of the face of the deck. So it would look like this. You would have the 3, and then it would change to the 8. The only problem with this is that you have to, after the cleanup, you have one card that is face up on top of the deck, which is not that great, but you don't have to do a double to begin with. The second way to do it is to start with a double lift off the top of the deck and then do the move. And what's great about that is that you're gonna get the cleanup to be cleaned up right at the bottom of the deck, and now you're left clean. Okay, so that's gonna be up to you on which move that you want to do to get ready for the color change. So what is happening behind the scenes of this change? Well, it's very, very simple. Basically, you have a double, or one card hiding another card, and you're going to use the pinky of the left hand, or the hand that the deck is in. If you're right-handed, you usually hold the deck in your left hand. You're going to use the pinky to pull down just like that, and get this card to basically come off the deck to the side, which is going to be hidden by the right hand, and then this is going to be shown. Okay, hey, look, doggies. So I like to do the double because I just like to clean up a little bit better instead of having to clean up afterwards. So double lift, show the card, the X card, and then we'll get into a little quick routine afterwards of how to use it. And you're gonna hold the deck. A lot of people have trouble doing this next part, the actual move of it, because what's gonna happen is when you pull down, if you have the deck in the hand too deep, you're not going to have enough room for this to happen, for the card to lever down and then shoot around to the back side. All right, and that's because you're not lifting the deck further up into the hand. Now it's almost like you're doing a top shot. All right, if you know the top shot, you're holding between the thumb and the first finger like this, high in the hand, so you could have room to actually do the move. But for here, it's going to be used so that we have room for this card to come around and then to the bottom. All right, so higher into the hand, hold it between the thumb and the first finger. And I would practice this first and making sure that it's here, because you don't want more than one card to come off, and that happens if you're not holding tight enough on this part. All right, and sometimes it's going to happen where you see that happens, especially if there's a bow, a natural bow inside of the deck. Okay, so you're turning the card over, boom. Now you're going to move it a little bit up into the hand. So I just use both hands to kind of come up here and do it. And now my pinky is going to be ready to go. Now the pinky is going to pull down. Remember, you have gripped with the thumb and the first finger here, tight grip. Pinky is going to start to pull down, and it's going to pull down in a diagonal fashion and keep pulling down until it gets to almost this position. Now you don't want it perpendicular. You want it in this position because that's going to help with the angle when your right hand is covering it, okay? So remember, pinky here, you're going to pull instead of that way out to the right, you're going to pull towards the diagonal, towards, imagine there was an imaginary line here, you're going to pull towards that way with the pinky, okay? And you're in this position like that. The right hand also has a role in this because the right hand is going to either cover here to make the change, or it's going to flick like that. So flick the corner. All right, that's how I first saw it, actually, like this. So there's a few ways to do it. It's whatever you're comfortable with, whatever works best for you. For me, it's to do this and then do the change. Now what's great about this position is that once you've flicked and opened up your hand naturally covers this part, but it also could naturally now just grab the deck in your right hand. So now the deck is gripped in your right hand, right? And that's going to help with the cleanup here. And you wait until your hand covers, that your pinky comes in. Boom, pinky comes in. Do the change, grab the deck, and now from behind you could see that the left fingers are going to pull and move the card to the bottom of the deck. All right, now this is the cleanup of it, but it has one problem. Look at it from the side. You do the move, you come here, you clean up, and now you're just holding the deck, but your fingers are moving from behind. All right, so one way to cover this action is to rotate the deck like that. Okay, so here we'll do it again. Watch the king, change into the 7, and now I'm rotating the deck end for end in 180 degrees to cover the action of the change, of the cleanup. Boom, grab the deck, come here, pull down, you're pulling. As you get to here, you're gonna rotate clockwise, grab the deck, and come back here for the cover of the change, all right? But it's gonna be up to you. Here it is again, here, here, maybe do a riffle to cover it, all right? Whatever the action is, as long as these fingers don't move too much. Another nice way to do the cleanup is to do a double. Watch the 10, you make a change, and then you show the queen like that, and the card has changed. And the way that we're gonna do this is as follows. Same exact move, boom, right? Or whichever way you want to do it, boom. And now from here, because your hand is here, instead of picking up the deck and grabbing it, all we're going to do is we're going to spread the deck out this way. Okay? And you're spreading the deck out this way. And this helps the fingers underneath grab the card and pull it flush as you square back up. All right? So you're here, you do the move, you grab the deck, and then you spread. Thumb is still here grabbing onto it, and that also covers this card. All right, so that card is covered. And now you can come here and square everything up, and that's a nice cleanup for it as well.
Basically, what you want to do is you want to put your 2 fingers down here, and the action is basically going to be this. You're going to pull with your middle finger underneath while maintaining the index there. The index stays there, and the thumb, and the middle finger pulls it back here. So from straight on, it's completely invisible. Here it's visible, visible, visible. Oh, it's gone. So that's kind of what you want it to be. Now that will take some practice. At first, you're gonna be like this. That's gonna happen a lot. Or the cards will go flying, right? That's gonna happen a lot as well. So don't get discouraged. It's just like a muscle memory thing where eventually it gets to the point where the card just really quickly, you know, disappears and changes into another one, basically. It looks like it just kind of like instantly morphs into that. I'm clean. What? That like fell off camera. Okay, again, like I said, in this version, you're going to have 1 finger here, show this, and then really quickly the middle finger is gonna come, it's curled like it would be at the end. It's gonna come out, pull. All right, so at full speed, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold the 2 cards like this, and you're going to remove that middle finger without doing this, right? So it's a really gentle touch on those 2 cards. You want, there you go. Now you can show this pretty cleanly, and your middle finger is gonna come in and do that basically, really quickly. Boom, you're here, and eesh. So it just looks like basically a little flash happened, but you're not disappearing any fingers on this, okay?
The second way of doing this
is actually using 2 hands. So you can do this with the deck in your hand or without the deck in your hand. And we'll get to the cleanup in a second. But for now, 2 fingers here, 2 fingers here. And now you can take off those fingers or you can keep them there. It's up to you. I prefer taking them off because it adds a little bit more deception. You're here and here. Now this is fun because it helps you square up the cards without fear of, you know, splitting them. So as you're here, you can hold them really tightly. And I like to do this little motion like this. And as my right hand comes in, the hand that I'm gonna snap change with, as it comes in, that's when I'm gonna do the change. So it kind of looked like the bending of the cards caused it to change, which is kind of magical. So here again, right? Bam, bam, bam. And then I'm here. Now I'm left in this predicament, this weird predicament, right? So what do? Naturally, the idea is to drop it on the deck, but there are a few little subtle things. So a lot of people, what they like to do is like show it, bring it forward, so then you're left clean. After you've done this change, bam, 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 you want to, you could bring it out. So this here is basically just gonna drop on the deck as you bring this card forward and show it cleanly as 1 card. Or you can do a little flourishy thing. So bam, after you're done changing it, your hand here is just gonna, your thumb's just gonna grab that card as your middle finger turns it over like that. And it adds a little bit of a flourishy action to it. So what's fun about that is that it kind of takes away from the moment that you drop it on the deck, because that moment's gonna be a hot moment. So bam, 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 bam. And instead of doing this, you know, and this thing, it's a really light touch. When you drop it anyways, you could just literally just deposit it there, right? And show it off. But to add a little bit of flair to that, after you've done the snap change, drop it on and turn the card this way. Bam, 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 change. Hand comes back here, under the thumb, grabs it, and then my middle finger is going to turn just like that to clean it all up. Also a good thing to know about the snap change is only as good as your double lift. So you have to practice your double lift, because if you do a weird double lift, they're gonna be like, you know, if you're like this, you know, they're gonna be like a little bit suspicious. So make sure your double lift is very clean. Practice that. Whatever double lift you choose to use, make sure it's very clean. Not like what I just did. You know, whatever double lift you wanna use is fine. Just absolutely make sure it is clean